Yo, what's going on, y'all? This would be a quick lesson about secondary dominance and another variation that they show you when you take a theory class. Let's go. We'll be in the key E flat. So E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D. If you take the song Living Word or Living Bread by Fred Hammond, that's the whole song. In theory class, you will learn secondary dominance 5-1, but another type of secondary dominant is 7-1. So usually a diminished 7-1 is, it acts as the 5 too. And I'm gonna show you something. In the key of E flat, that's your E flat major chord, your 1. B flat is your 5. If I want to make this a diminished, it's a few ways I look at it, because once you understand it, you can enhance it. But first, I'm gonna show y'all this. So instead of playing 5-1, I'm gonna do 7-1. 5-1, 7-1. Now, this is your B flat dominant chord. If you look at this, you have the triad here, and then the next half is diminished. So another term that you would hear in theory class is major diminished, because it's explaining the halves of the chords. So like this chord right here will be called a minor major, because your first 3 notes create an F minor, and then your last 3 notes right here is an A flat major chord. So they would call this minor major. F, any type of minor 7 chord will be called minor major, because that's just why that is. I don't know. I could probably, if I went through my old theory books, I could probably find the reason. But so this would be major diminished. So that's something. It might help somebody. I don't know. It might be helping me. I don't really think of this stuff, but maybe it's second nature now. But if you look at this, this chord has the major, the 5-1 in it, and it has the diminished 7-1. Now, when you are, if you look at, listen, do the song. So, bread of life sent down from glory, many things you, wait, many things you were under the Holy King. I messed that up, carpenter. Something like that. It moves, it's moving in a movement where you could utilize the secondary dominant. So we're gonna try it with secondary. Bread of life sent down from glory, many things you were. So I'm going to C minor. So my 5-1 to C is G. So you were on earth. Now I'm going to B flat. So my 5-1 to get to B flat will be F to B flat. So F dominant 7 to B flat, and then I'm going to A flat. So 5-1 will be E flat to A flat. So E flat and then A flat. So that's one way you could do that. Now we're gonna just try it with the diminishes. Now I know this is gonna sound it's gonna be real dissonant, but we gonna do it anyway. Bread of life sent down. So I'm not altering the first 3 chords. They diminish. So those are the variations that you can do. Instead of going 5-1, you do 7-1. Now, this is what I really want to show y'all. Like what I was saying earlier, when you understand it, that's when you can enhance it. So we have this chord, but a lot of times you would hear, because this is just your regular dominant 7, but usually, especially in church and jazz, you're going to hear a flat 9 added. So I would just take this chord instead of voicing it like this. You could voice it in any inversion, but I usually play mine's right this. So I'm gonna keep my 5. We're on B flat. We playing the B flat. So 5, 3, flat 9, and then your minor 7, and that's a common chord that you hear in gospel a lot. If we did all of those like that, let's see. Now I have to show y'all this too, because bass wise we wouldn't play this for this particular song because you're going from B. It's basically turned into a B diminished. But if you look at your flat 9, which is B, that's what I kind of go off of. Like if I wanted to play a F sharp flat 9, in my mind, I kind of know them just off the top of my head, but if I'm trying to remember it or trying to think of what it is in real time, I'm in the middle of a gig or you're in the middle of service and you're trying to figure out how to voice the chord or how it's structured, kind of think of the flat 9. So if I'm trying to think of a C dominant 7 flat 9, you just going up a half step from the note, from your bass note, and you just form a diminished 7 chord right there. So that's a C dominant 7 with a flat 9. D flat dominant 7 with a flat 9. D dominant 7 with a flat 9. So that's one way to remember. You just go up a half step from the notes you want to, the note that you playing in the bass, your root note, and then you just form a diminished 7 over that note, the sharp. Well, we just gonna call it a flat 9 because that's what it is. But so let's go back here. And like I always tell y'all, you could play regular triad, but I always throw that 9 in there. Give it a little more body, and then you can spread it out more too, like that. Now those diminishes, that's why I say they add more dissonance. I wouldn't play those over I'm just showing you your different options. And then if you played it, let's play it that way. That's what I wanted to show y'all, with the flat 9 in there. So we're gonna do, instead of doing B flat, you got to look at this chord too. I'm gonna show y'all. It's a lot. So we got a B flat dominant 7 with a flat 9, but we're not gonna play this to get to C. We got to play the G. But if you look at, you playing the same diminished chord right here. Your flat 9 is here. Remember we said if G is our root note, that flat 9 is a half step up from G, and we form our diminished chord over there. You have, look at this. Each one of these bass notes share the same chord. It works for all of these. So you have a G dominant 7 flat 9, B flat dominant 7 flat 9, C sharp dominant 7 flat 9, E dominant 7 flat 9, and this chord is the same. Now you can invert it, but you really don't have to. You can do G dominant 7 flat 9, B flat dominant 7 flat 9, C sharp dominant 7 flat 9, E dominant 7 flat 9. See that? So that's another trick. You can, just things to know. So now listen to the song. Send down from glory. Many things you were on earth, a holy king, a So I just did, like I said, it adds more dissonance, but it's an option. And if you pick the right spot, you know, sometimes it'll sound perfect. Now this one does. That always works. The dominant 7 flat 9 to the minor. It's like as you go down, it gets more and more dissonant, but and then this one all the way. But it's an option, and that's like a classical sound too if you really listen to it. But that's where this stuff was originated from. When you listen to you know, different classical pieces, and that's how they move. And a lot of times secondary dominants are used to get you from different keys. So if we in E flat, let's say I want to get to A major. So if I want to get to A major, so I just did a secondary dominant in A. So I'm in E flat and I played a E dominant 7 to change the key. I don't use that a lot. I'm gonna show y'all the key change that I use. It's like my go-to when I want to go to a different key. But that works. I'm gonna show y'all that one first again. And I want to change keys. So that's okay, but I'm gonna show y'all a smoother key change. It still works the same way. It's still in the family of a dominant, secondary dominant, but it's a 4/5. So whatever key you want to get to, play the 4 major chord over the 5th degree of that key, of the new key that you want to go to, and it takes you there seamlessly. So we're gonna do the same thing, E flat to A, and listen to the difference. Sounds better than using the secondary dominant. And now we're going to A. So any key you want to get to, use the 4 chord over the 5th, just the note, 5th degree, and it will get you there seamlessly. Usually, this works in upbeat songs, it works in slow songs. That's just an easy way. It's, you know, we can make transitions and crazy progressions to get us to different keys as well, but sometimes even threaded in those type of progressions, we might use that chord just to change it, and then we can go back into like some more, you know, complicated chording and stuff. But usually when you hear a key change, most of the time it's a 4/5, depending on, you know, what the song is. But that's one of my tricks. I got other tricks as far as key changes go, but so yeah, so I would definitely experiment with those secondary dominants, the 5/1 and the 7/1. So remember that 7 diminished to 1, and then 5 dominant 7/1. And remember to experiment with those dominant 7 flat 9 chords too. And now listen to this. Now since we played that B flat, I'm in E flat minor. So 5/1. So that's what I'm saying. Those dominants can take you anywhere. So now I'm in E flat minor. Now say I wanted to get to B flat minor, I would do seamlessly. Now if I wanted to get back to C minor, watch this. Takes you right to it. So I mean, yes, definitely add that stuff to your vocabulary, because that will open you up to a whole another world of like choices that you have when you creating music or just playing songs, making transitions. You have a lot that you can work with.